Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Geezers. I am Pete.
And I'm Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic, as your host. Welcome again to another episode.
DC Day.
Yes, we're going to do Justice League of America. Now, Pete wasn't much of a DC guy growing up, but I had a few Justice League of America, not a lot. But Pete has a lot of graphic novels.
Yeah, I'm into the trades, the more recent stuff specifically.
This is the oldest in my collection of DC Justice League of America comics, what we commonly call JLA.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll show you Superman, Batman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Black Canary, Green Arrow. This episode, or I should say this issue, looking at a new member to join, and they're all voting in, but it's Elongated Man. And this is issue 105. This is probably from 1973.
And the Justice League comic actually started, or the team was introduced in 1960. The original members we got a few of them on there. So we got Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. Am I missing anybody?
Aquaman? Was
Aquaman number 7. Yeah, those are all the original.
You don't
members.
see Wonder Woman in this cover.
Nope. She might have been taking a hiatus.
Could be. But that is the oldest of my JLA.
That's a cool one.
And then I have issue 108. Now, they did a lot of alternate Earths, like parallel Earths. This is the Justice League of America going against Earth X Justice League of America, which is actually what they were called, the Freedom Fighters. And this is their first appearance, which was a two-part story, 107, and this is 108. But this is basically the first appearance of the Freedom Fighters.
Look who's out in the lead there, right?
Uncle Sam. You know. And they did have a title called the Freedom Fighters as well, which came out in 1976. Mm-hmm. It's a 25 center #1 issue. But when I was a kid, I didn't start collecting comics until late 70s. But this is probably from 1975 or 74. This is issue 117.
Who's behind the curtain? Was that
I forgot. I read this so long ago. I think it's a villain. I'm not sure. I don't think it's Hawkman. I forgot. I've read these.
Elongated Man. That's great.
Yeah, I love how it sticks out. And Elongated Man is a superhero who doesn't hide, does not have a secret identity. Everybody knows his real name.
Ralph Dibny.
There you go. This is issue 118 of JLA. Flash looks like he's a little bit hurt. Everyone's all banged up in this episode. This issue, I should say. Next I have issue 122.
Death of Aquaman.
This is definitely a pretty cool cover. And it's the death of Aquaman, is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. I'm sure.
Here lies Aquaman, king of the seven seas, true identity unknown. But that's definitely cool. They're all like mourning him, and then what? In the early '90s, the death of Superman.
Yep.
So
they all died at one point or another, right? Whether it took or not.
I'm not sure what year this is. Maybe 1975, maybe 1976, but it's a 60 center. This book, so it's a little bit thicker. This is issue 147. I just love this evil Merlin type looking villain.
And you got Justice Society of America guys on the far right hand side there.
Yep. And the JLA, definitely good covers. This is issue 148, another 60 center.
Yeah, that one.
So Justice League of America, I guess you could say compatible to Marvel Comics Avengers. Yeah. Assembly of their greatest heroes. When I started buying comics, this is probably like 1978, late 78, early 79. This was the first one that I bought off the newsstands, and that's Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
And she joins the JLA. And so this is her first entrance into...
Very powerful character. Very underrated.
Would you consider her like a female Doctor Strange?
Yeah, kind of. Although I think even more on the supernatural end. But yeah, it's very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, and some of these characters on the cover, they're not happy about her.
Green Lantern's like, what?
Green Lantern...
who needs her? Green Lantern doesn't get along with anybody. He and Batman are always at odds.
The Green Lantern says, let her go. Who needs her?
Damn that Hal Jordan.
And Zatanna says, me join your miserable league? Never. So she's, not too happy. No. So this is 161. Then this is 162. I like this cover. The Wonder Woman harnessing this bug thing and Superman fighting this like giant hawk. That's definitely cool. And then I had a straight little run there for a little bit. This is 163. I don't get it with the organ guy. He was the villain. Like playing music, it kind of like warped out your mind, like hypnotized you. Kind of far
That
fetched.
is kind of bizarre, yeah.
You know?
Let's see, Hawkgirl's there.
Yep. And so again, I bought another issue. This is 164, and it looks like Zatanna's flipping out. Superman and Wonder Woman got to hold her back. And then I have a little bit of a gap, 10-issue gap. We go up to 174. And there's still 40 cents. So this might be 1979, early 1980s. This is 175.
Got Mr. Miracle there, I see.
Yes. And I just love the monster. Definitely cool cover.
It's always about the monsters.
Yes. And here's a monster looking kind of a guy. This
go.
is 176. I love this skull guy. He's like laughing triumphantly. You know?
Superman's melting something with his
Looks like
right
it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Ha 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 ha, he says. This is the last of my JLA, which I've shown recently in a Superman episode. This is the very next issue that came out after the death of Superman. So they're all like mourning the death of Superman. This is from 1993, and this is issue 70. And at the top it's called Funeral for a Friend. But that death of Superman bounced around through the Justice League of America, Superman, the Man of Steel, and Action Comics. But that wraps up my issues for the Justice League of America. Now, Pete's going to take over with his graphic novels.
Yeah, as you can see, I've got a stack here. So, like Bill mentioned, when I was growing up, I really didn't read any DC at all. I was strictly a Marvel guy. But in kind of like the second wave of my life when I got back into comics again, I really discovered that a lot of the DC stuff, like from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, actually pretty strong, and in my opinion, a lot stronger than some of the Marvel stuff. So rather than kind of go back and just start a whole DC collection of single comics, which is daunting to even think about, I said, you know, DC has done a really good job, unlike Marvel, of putting a lot of those single comic issues into trades or graphic novels, right? So it's been really easy to kind of get a lot of these excellent storylines, which a lot of them are pretty lengthy, in like these volumes. So I'm going to go through some of them here. Some of these are fairly recent.
The artwork is great.
Really, really good. This one is the first one I ever bought, and this is it's not a long story, but it's a very important story. It just goes to show you deep down how kind of devious and detective-y Batman could be. This is called the Tower of Babel storyline. So if you haven't read this, this book is about is how Batman comes up with a contingency plan against all of his fellow Justice League members in case any of them are ever turned to the dark side. So he's got a plan. If something happens, he could wipe out the rest of the Justice League just like that. Because that's how far ahead he's always thinking. And they find out that he did this, and they're really pissed off at him. As you can imagine. So, but it's a really, really good storyline.
I'm terrified. This is a joke.
Yep.
All right, what else you got there?
All right, so then a couple years ago, DC did another relaunch, a reboot called the New 52. So they kind of changed everything, rebooted everything, and actually the Justice League stories in the New 52 were dynamite, and it was a lot of continuing storylines. So here we have Volume 1, The Origin. So again, this is, 2000, whatever year this was, 11 or 12 or 13.
Get closer.
The birth of the Justice League.
They want to see it, man.
Look at that artwork. So again, but you got Cyborg here, no Martian Manhunter this time around. All the other guys you pretty much know. Different costumes a little bit. We got some slightly different origins because, again, they rebooted the whole DC universe. But this was the beginning of the Justice League, right? And then you got here the villain's journey. Okay.
Let's see.
Again,
Flash dominates that cover.
Yeah, that's a Flash dominated cover, but they're all there. And great artwork. And, these were written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. Really good stuff.
Jim Lee's a great artist.
Yeah. And then Volume 3, Throne of Atlantis. This is classic. And if you've seen the DC animated film, fantastic. A great interpretation of
touches on this story.
Yeah, which is really, really good. They're all kind of at war with each other here, which is interesting. I just bought this one. I have not read it, so I really can't say much about it.
I like the cover, though.
The Grid, Volume 4 in the New 52 Justice League line. You can see here, it's Justice League of America battling Justice League Dark, okay, which is, comprised of like Swamp Thing and Satana and all these other cool, more darker supernatural characters. Then you got Volume 5, Forever Heroes. Okay.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the Green Lantern on that cover.
Yeah, he does look pretty cool. And then you got Owlman here. Was that his name? He was like the
It was like the
Earth 2 version of Batman.
Batman, yeah.
I forget his actual name.
I think that sounds right.
And then Volume 6, Injustice League, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, you get this whole Darkseid war. This war with Darkseid, who's, of course, the ultimate DC villain.
Look at that.
Kind of like DC's version of Thanos, basically. This is a great storyline.
Okay.
Really, really good.
And you read all these.
I read all these. These are great. And also, Darkseid is going against, at the same time, against the Anti-Monitor, which is also one of the premier DC baddies. So it's just like this great multi-part.
How long ago did you read these?
I don't know, maybe 4 months ago.
Oh, wow.
4 or 6 months ago? Yeah, within the last year. These are really good.
Pete wanted me to read all these before we shot this episode.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
I had so much to do, man. I was like, I don't think I'm going to happen. I don't think it's going to. I'll make it.
They are well worth reading, though. I'm going to get you to read them one of these days.
Oh, I'll definitely be in the reading. He had this,
basically everything.
I'll hold up the stack when he's done. Because he just gave me a couple of Batman books to read. I had picked up he gave me the Killing Joke, which I have the original, but I never opened it, and we've shown it on the show before. But
You
when
got
I
Hush,
saw
right?
Hush,
Yeah.
and what's the other one I have that I haven't read yet that you gave me? With the
I don't know.
the Red Hood.
Oh, the Red Hood, yes.
Yes.
The Red Hood. Both of those are great. This is great. Trinity War.
Okay.
Another multi-part thing.
It is.
Kind of what continues on here with this Forever Evil. So here we go. Hey, our first appearance of Lex Luthor.
Ooh,
There he is, right in the front, leading all the bad guys. You got Sinestro up here, Lex Luthor. Who else is here? You got, what's his face? Bizarro. He's got Metallo. I mean, they're all...
Bizarro right there with the white head.
Yeah, they're all in there. A lot of the bad guys are there. You got Captain Cold. You got the Riddler. I mean, Two-Face. They're all there. And then this one, I just got this one, so I have not read it, but this is Justice League United. Again, another New 52.
Is this a continuation of what you're just showing, or is this something different?
I think this is something different. So this is another version of the Justice League.
This is the stack.
Justice League Canada.
This is the stack he wanted me to read. I was like, shit.
And the next ones that are coming up. The
next ones.
Yeah, the next ones too.
But this is all the New 52.
Yes.
Okay. That's a pretty big stack. That's bigger than a phone book. And I just didn't have the time.
No, but there's more. The one I really want, the series that I really wanted him to read.
Let's see what else you got.
And to kind of finish out our Justice League show here today is the series called Injustice, which is based on a DC video game of the same name.
Probably played it.
So basically, they broke it down into
another
years.
Another
phone book. So basically, just to give you a quick summary of the story. So basically, it's normal Justice League stuff going on. The Joker is running rampant. The Joker winds up killing Lois Lane.
Uh-oh.
And of course, Superman goes ballistic. And what does he do? He kills the Joker. Normally, you'd say, cool, the Joker needed to be put to rest anyway because he's the ultimate villain, whatever. But of course, Batman took a major offense at this because in Batman's point of view, we should have just captured the Joker and put him in jail because Batman doesn't like to kill anybody. But Superman was like, but he killed the love of my life. Yeah. How can you even question this? And that started a rift between Batman and Superman that led to the split down the middle of the Justice League. You had one faction with Superman, one faction with Batman.
Hold that up.
And Superman decided that he was now going to take over the world and be basically the police of the world. Him and the Justice League guys who stuck by him. And just a new world order was in place. And
New sheriff in town.
And I tell you, this is the beginning of the story of Superman really being a not-so-good guy. Basically being a tyrant, okay? So this was continuing.
So what he says goes.
Yeah, and of course Batman and everybody who followed him just...
So
this started this whole war between the two Justice League factions. And it went over the course of, how many years did we go? 5 years. So this whole storyline took place 5 years. And again, I'll just show you a lot of the covers here.
And it started last decade?
This
2000s?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
2-3 years ago, you just said this thing went 5 years. Which is it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, okay. But it did,
right.
the publishing.
Am I being too technical?
Okay. Just the storyline in the comic took 5 years. So here you have Gods Among Us Year 2, Volume 2.
Oh, look at that.
And all the characters. And, a lot of characters get killed there. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot of characters.
Bob
major
dies.
Like Green Arrow gets
That's
killed.
a joke. Bob dies.
Lex Luthor's a good guy here,
A good guy.
Yeah,
right.
So,
okay.
You got John Constantine in here, and he's not right. He's not right, guys.
Show you some of the artwork. Flip through this.
Oh yeah, we probably should do that. Huh? It's gorgeous, gorgeous artwork in these.
Wow.
And the dialogue is really good. It's very witty.
Oh yeah.
It's a very complex.
It's
story.
a good read, huh?
Yeah, and it's one of those you can't put down
kind of things.
series. Yeah.
I'll put this one down. Move right along. We've got to
Year
wrap
3,
this up.
Volume 2. So again, there's Mr. Constantine.
Okay.
Is he smoking a cigarette? No, probably not. And you got it back. You got Shazam.
And he was in the Swamp Thing episodes.
Yeah, he
right?
was.
Issues.
There's your man, the Spectre, there as well.
Spectre's awesome.
Yeah. And they fight like Zeus and, a lot of alliances that you wouldn't necessarily. So here you have Sinestro and Superman working together. You would never have seen that ever because Sinestro is like the ultimate Lantern bad guy, right?
Okay.
So here you have Year 4, Volume 2, okay, and then a great battle between Wonder Woman and Superman.
Oh, you wouldn't think she'd have a chance, but look at that.
Yeah, it's just great storytelling. And here we got Bane fighting. He's him and Batman going at it here. You got Shazam fighting Harley Quinn. And then they get Batman and his version, a bunch of renegades. They come across a kind of like a serum, like Bane winds up taking that green whatever. So they want to take in these pills, so they become really, really powerful. So that allows a guy like Batman to duke it out with Superman, which is kind of neat. And then the finale, Year 5, Volume 3.
Finally.
Yeah, finally ends.
Wrap this up.
What I will say is that I found the finale pretty lackluster.
It fell short.
It fell real short, and
it
didn't really tie things up like I thought it would. So, but it didn't deter me from just really loving the series in general. So I recommend you guys check it out if you haven't already. So that's it for the Justice League. That's what we have anyway. So we got a bunch of newer stuff, some old stuff, but a great team, and probably Marvel's got a bunch of major teams. DC, in my opinion, always really had the one Justice League. And it's like they didn't need any others, right?
No, that was it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And almost all the heroes made it through the Justice League at some point or another.
Yep.
So.
Well, anyway, gang, I'm Wild Bill saying thanks for being here with us again. And as always, send us your comments and please subscribe if you haven't.
Yep, do that.
And we look forward to bringing you more comics in the future. Thanks for watching. I'm Wild Bill saying take care.
And I'm Pete. Have a good one. We'll see you real soon. Take care.
Bye.